Hey, so we're back, and this time I am going to talk about Trials Rising. It's been probably a minute since I bothered to do a video, and I've been sitting on this one for a while. And you know what? Finally, let's go ahead and do it. I had played pretty much every Trials game, except maybe some of the oldest. I started on HD, and I was playing since Trials HD. That was a Xbox 360 title, I believe. And played HD, played Evolution, played Fusion, played Blood Dragon, and played Rising, and we're at Rising now. So the last game that Redlinks, as far as I know, that Redlinks made, last Trials game, and it's from about 2019, so it's been like 6 years since we've heard anything about these. And if you weren't aware, Ubisoft has been going through and putting achievements for older games on Steam. It's kind of this year. It's been a little bit now, but they've been doing it. And we went back and we went and did this one because I originally had done this one on the PS4, but I didn't buy any DLC. So I did have the Platinum Trophy, but I didn't have like all of the DLC achievements that Steam made me do. So this is one of those rare cases where I basically went back and did a game a second time and kind of did more, did a little bit extra. That's just because, I really like Trials Rising, I think, even though at launch this game was not really up to par with what I think the standard should have been. And even now you could say it might be missing a couple features that something like Evolution really understood should have been in the game back even when Evolution launched. But I would still put this above Fusion. I like this far more than Fusion in general. The bikes feel right. Everything feels right to me here. I've been playing Fusion on and off, trying to mess with also doing a video on Fusion. So I don't want to get too into that, but it's crazy how Fusion felt kind of floaty, felt weird. This game, love its aesthetic, love the kind of Tony Hawk's, pro skater kind of idea back. We went back to kind of similar to Evolution. I would almost consider this the sequel to Evolution more than some other things, just because, again, this understood the vibe. I don't know that I really appreciate some of the loot boxes and the way they've done things, but you can also make like custom gear and sell the custom gear to other players for in-game currency, which is very fun to me. I really like that. The track editor is as powerful as it's ever been. You can edit and color the bikes. If I'm using my own footage, which I should be, it'd be lazy if I didn't. I colored my own bikes, put, fun little logo on the back of the guy's jacket, all that stuff. I really appreciate the customization that you can do. And as far as I know, I believe all of these tracks are made with their editor, which is not a new thing. They've done that forever. But I love the variety. I love the ingenuity in the tracks, and Rising specifically has, I think, the best difficulty scale of all of these games and does the best job of teaching you how to play this game. I think if you were going to start anywhere, this might be the better one to start with, especially with the University of Trials stuff designed to help teach you how to do some of the harder mechanics and even some of the more basic mechanics. I really do enjoy this game. I don't really get why people hate this so much anymore, but for the last game for them to go off of, they certainly could have done a lot worse than this. So, everything you're used to is back here. They ran kind of a different little campaign where you would do, championship races, championship stuff. I don't really care for that, but in the end, they're just more tracks. It's them showing off that they did go back to having multi-lane kind of tracks. That's kind of cool. Again, I love the track design. If I wanted to give a specific shout out, it would be to the soundtrack for this game. I actually really enjoy. Big ups for me personally out of that soundtrack. Like all the songs, I think fit really well. I like them all. I think there's a Trivium song. There is Jurassic 5 is in here. There's drum and bass. There's, EDM representation. It's all over the place, and I think that they're really cool. It seems like the DLC tracks didn't have any like commercial song licensing because some of them just kind of use like classical tracks like Beethoven or something. I don't know how to feel about that because It kind of seems like they kind of tapped out on that, but it's also not the worst thing ever. Like, the base soundtrack is good enough that I don't know why they need to really add or change much. Very, kind of a Tony Hawk style, kind of skateboardy, punky, influence, and it's really fun. It's certainly quite a lot for a game about just tilting a bike around and going off ramps, right? But if you're here to talk about the achievements, boy, have you stepped in it. I think there were a few people that figured out very quickly that this is not a game you can just walk up and do. This one might be the hardest one of all of them. It might be. It's kind of going to depend on your preference, and a lot of people might disagree with that because they would have done something like I did and played like 6 of these or so before it gave them like a proper semi-difficult challenge. But it's only really the psychos that aren't gonna have an issue with this. And even for me, there are some surprisingly hard challenges out of these achievements that you didn't see in previous games. Like, this is more consistently a huge problem. And it's not helped by the fact that this certainly has the hardest tracks included in one of these games in this, not to mention an Inferno track that is so unbelievably annoying that it's kind of like a low tier ninja difficulty instead of an extreme track, really. Like, it's you'd be surprised at, while I might not be having the hardest time in the world playing this game, I don't think you're gonna want to do this. I know you're gonna have to be quite good at it. So, I'll get into that in a second, but I want to say that, again, you can pick this game up for sale. You get this on sale real well, $5 or less. I think it's phenomenal for $5. The servers are still up. You can still have custom maps, if I could speak on the recording. You get custom levels, you can make custom levels, you can upload custom levels. The times still work, unlike like Evolution where they shut that down. This one's still running at the time of the recording anyway, so you should try that. Like, you should play it. Play with your friends. It's really fun. It even has, local co-op, online multiplayer. Like, yeah, dude, this is the best you're gonna get unless something changes and they decide that they're gonna revive this, game franchise that they haven't been, bothering to do forever. I'm just convinced Ubisoft has decided Red Lynx is no more and just don't want Red Lynx to do anything. So, I would never expect that we'll ever get another one of these. And if we do, I don't think it will be the Red Lynx that does it. And I think Ubisoft is just gonna, ruin it single-handedly like they threatened to with Fusion. So we'll see. I want it to succeed if they ever do another one. And we'll be back here. But if we're going to talk about the achievements for this game, this late in the video, what I want to point out is there are going to be far more achievements that I'm going to say that could still cause you problems. There's a bunch of little one-offs, there's a bunch of little secrets, and at risk of having to talk about every single possible one and make me take a ton of screenshots, I'm just going to gloss over the ones that I want to point out. But this is one of those cases where I am serious. This one is actually going to force you to know this game pretty well. You're going to have to be very good at it. I think far better than the average player, and I think a little bit above average in terms of how well you can play this game just to 100% it. So do that with what you will. I want to start with, let me see. You have to get every gold medal on every track. Up to, hold on, I have pictures. Let me use my pictures. Yes, including the Race League. Gold medal or better in all career tracks, including Race League. Is gold medal a ridiculous requirement? I don't think so. But gold medal with Race League, and Race League being the extreme tracks, yes. And I didn't hit a wall until I needed gold medal on Inferno. Inferno is the problem. Inferno is the threat. Many of the extreme tracks are doable. Some of them are going to test you a little harder, but Inferno is diabolical. I don't know what to say about it other than that. You need to be very careful about... I'm just going to say how mad you get at it. It's really going to make you work for it. And that's not the only Inferno achievement you have. I have one more to mention. The Wheelferno, which is to perform a 10-second wheelie on the portable toilet on Inferno 5. way fewer people have that, and I would assume that that's got to do with people just not interested in going back to it. That anyone that can clear Inferno should be able to do this. It was just an obnoxious thing. You have to run Inferno to get to this one checkpoint where there's a stinking porta potty, and you can just do a 10-second wheelie on it. It's not the easiest thing I've ever done, but it's certainly not as hard as the obstacles past that point in the track. So why it's more rare, I figure just people aren't interested in doing it. But, you know, that's just something to mention, something to look out for. Let me see, another thing that's probably worth pointing out since we're up here. You have to beat an extreme track with 0 faults. Again, not the craziest thing I've ever seen. Pretty adequate, probably fair enough challenge to ask, especially since like the first or second extreme track is really kind of just a slightly more difficult, hard tier track. But it's not telling you to do this to Inferno, just an extreme track with no faults. That said, how many players are even going to get to the race league and continue to play the game? A lot of casual people that I tried to get to play this would do really well up until the hard difficulty, and then would start to be like, hey, this is too tough for me. I don't want to keep playing the game. And then they back out. So you can only get to this kind of stuff post-game. The race league, the extreme track, there's a lot of stuff post-game where the real threat is. That's why mentioning completing the game isn't worth it, because that's not where the hardest stuff is. 0 faulting extreme track, 0 fault obviously means do it without any crashing. You cannot crash, and that's all those tracks are designed to do, is to make you crash. So it's just an example of you really better tighten up. It's gonna ask you to do a lot. There's another one right here. Master's degree, get a grade A+ on all of University of Trials. That's their little, it's like a tutorial, but there are a lot of little tracks that are meant to teach you mechanics. Am I gonna keep that sneeze in the recording? Generally speaking, getting an A+ is a boring task. It's not going to be something that anyone that could run extreme tracks is going to be concerned with, but there might be, I want to say 1 or 2, probably the last 2 tests might actually slow you down trying to get a grade A, because you have to complete the whole thing. Did it take me a bunch of tries? Not really. It's not that bad, but it's another example. You really got to run it. You have to get a perfect score. You have to do the tutorial as good as you can. And the bunny hop tutorial breaks people. Just shatters people. Like, they hate it. It's a great tutorial. It's a good way to do bunny hops, but if you don't know how to do bunny hops, or worse, that one where you have to do a rear wheel bunny hop off of a single box, and you have to just do the whole test like that, that's what's gonna wall people out. Imagine trying to do that on a Nintendo Switch. You know, you don't have throttle control, you don't have anything. You could do it, I could do it, but it would be kind of a test for me. It would be a little bit more difficult. So again, these achievements are surprisingly rough for a game, and you're really gonna have to spend some time on it. I'm running out of especially evil ones here. For a quick second, let me talk about the squirrels. The squirrels are back. They were in Evolution. They're back here, and they're back here probably in the hardest to deal with form you've dealt with yet. It's just my opinion, but there were 30 squirrel collectibles on the main game. There are some in the DLC, but I don't want to holler. No reason to point those out. You know it. It'll treat this as covering those. And it culminates in the Diamond Squirrel collectible, because they show you this outfit that you're unlocking, but you only need about 15 squirrels, which is actually about half of them to get the full outfit. And it turns out there are 30, and they are very well hidden. They're anywhere from incredibly well hidden to right in your face. If you know how they hide stuff and you know what to look for, you can get a pretty good guess where some of them might be. I can find these, but again, I have historically played these games. You know, you can't expect someone that doesn't play Call of Duty to load up on Veteran and just walk through Veteran, right? How would they know? How would they know what the deal, what to do? So these squirrels are very hidden. My genuine advice to you would be to just use a guide. The chances of you finding all of them are so low, and there are so many tracks to look for them on, that you are not gonna like that. If this is your thing and you wanna find collectibles, please ignore that, try it your way, but they're very hidden. They're very well hidden. They tease you. There's no indication that they're anywhere. There's no hint, really, a lot of times where they're at. There are tracks with hints, and there are tracks without hints, and it just seems to mess the whole thing up by you know, you don't know if there's going to be a hint or not. You don't know where things are. You could hear them from your friends. If you had a whole group of friends that weren't going to look things up, that'd probably be the way to do it. But again, as far as collectible goes, I don't really care. Look up the collectibles. That's what I would do. That's what I did. I had to do it again, even though I've done this before. I don't know where they are. I didn't know how to get to them. And the diamond squirrel is an additional last one that you need all of the squirrels to get. So that's kind of like an umbrella achievement that I was going to use for this, but odds are I'll flash both of them at the same time. You can have them again right now for fun if I'm listening to myself when I make this. So all of that is work. All of that is work. That's a lot of work. The squirrels take a long time. Everything takes a long time to get. And yet we still have a couple more. Here's one more really funky one. Real funky one I want to brag about. I might use this footage because I already posted the video about this, but it's the Beat the Stonehenge track on the tandem bike with zero faults. Now, tandem bike is a 2-player bike. Both of you have half power controls on all of the things. If the back guy doesn't tilt the bike and the front guy does, it's the equivalent of like a halfway point, right? So it's a very fun local co-op bike. And to do Stonehenge with zero faults with 2 actual people is not that hard to do. It's not that bad. It's very accomplishable if you have somebody else in real life to actually help you do it. Therein lies the problem. Do you? Do you though? Like, you got anyone? You gonna call somebody up to do an achievement? Because you're more dedicated than I am about that. What I did for that was I held 2 controllers in my hands and tore my hair out for about an hour to get over the whole track without crashing. And it's certainly doable. Don't get me wrong, it's feasible. It sucks to do, but I wanted to point it out because A, I'm that guy, that's fun, I want to brag. And B, if you have somebody to help you, this is a case where a local multiplayer situation could make your life much more easy. Because if you just headhunt this one achievement, you shouldn't need anybody locally after that. You could probably handle it. But that's worth telling you that there is a local one. You know, that's kind of weird. Side note to that, I don't believe there are any real online multiplayer ones, though. They're mostly just a test for you to play solo, so there you go. At least you don't have to, like, do multiplayer, really, but it's gonna feel like you have to, I think, because of how hard some of these are. Some of these are a little bit worse than that. Let me see, I've got, I think 2 more. Yeah, I got 2 more. Here we go. This is a hidden one, and it's to beat a ninja track. That is quite the secret sauce of why would you, I know it's a surprise, but why would you make somebody do this? This is a step too far, I think, in my opinion. Like, in the difficulty scalings, this is the first game to properly use the difficulty of Ninja, which is above extreme. I know for a long time they gave us Ninja as a funny difficulty that we were allowed to say was higher than extreme, or it'd be an extreme track with the Ninja tag on it. And you could go above extreme, which really just hit the point of, like, you weren't really intended to play the game this hard. And this game actually included, I think 5, maybe? They included tracks, white belt up to black belt, of different tiers of a ninja difficulty track. And you can only unlock these if you gold medal all of the race league. So you have to gold medal the infamous Inferno 5 to even start doing this. And that is an incredible ask for people, in my opinion. Like, this is like the top 1% or lower kind of player problem. Like, this is very difficult to do. And I don't know that this is the kind of thing you should have put in your game. You know, this might be too far. Like, I think achievements should be casual and they should be related to doing, you know, a wide range of experience with the game, not browbeat your players into needing to be experts at your game. I don't think achievements should be, oh, I always said a bad word, I'm gonna have to mute that. Should be stuff that you write on your tombstone, right? This isn't supposed to be an achievement of my life. Like, I don't want to spend 20 hours doing this one thing, right? It's ridiculous. And the ninja difficulty, the white belt, green belt, trust me when I tell you they're proper hard. Inferno has a couple obstacles that make you hate it. White belt and above have every obstacle that make you hate it. Every single one in the track are all designed to just be a step above. It's the worst kind of thing you're gonna run into. I know there are people that like these. There's a special leaderboard within the game just dedicated to these tracks. Having an achievement to complete one is still a lot. You only need to do white belt. which should be the easiest one to do. And if you can get through Inferno, I believe in you, you can beat it. And it's only pass. It's not gold medal. It's not anything above that, but it's still hard. And you might have expected Inferno was going to be the worst thing the game was hiding. And you're wrong. It's this one. Beating white belt is something only the more dedicated or the most dedicated people to playing this game are gonna do. And they're worse than that. I only beat white belt, which I'd seen before. I only beat white belt. I didn't really try green belt, and I just said, that's enough for me, thank you. I'm not this guy. Extreme is quite a test. Ninja is a whole nother level, and I'm just not interested in doing it right now. Maybe one day I'll go back and I'll just practice enough and I'll care. I know guys that like these kinds of things, but I'm telling you that this is going to be one of the hurdles. This is like the final bucket that a lot of this stuff falls into, where, yeah, you got to run gold. Trust me, gold medaling every track is nowhere near this hard. It's just not. Up to the extreme tracks, you can gold medal pretty much everything with a cool breeze, like just track by track by track. I mean, half of them are medium or below. And you can't gold medal medium or below, then you didn't get this far, right? So, I mean, this is one of your final challenges, is beat a ninja track. And my last one, this isn't the last one, but this is worth saying. I missed this, so I apologize for how weird this goes. There is one for getting a platinum medal. You could do it on any track. Platinum is just a step above gold. It's feasible, it's doable. I think I could pretty much do platinum on every track. I think once you get to extreme, you have to like 0-fault stuff. And back in the day, I would have had platinum on everything. It's definitely a step above. You need to run it better, you need to run it well, and you probably aren't gonna just platinum every single track in one try, even if you're a seasoned player. If you're warmed up and you're running, yeah, maybe, but you kind of need some degree of practice beforehand. And here's one of my last hurdles that is just, like, why would they do this? Is to get a diamond medal. So for this game, they decided that platinum isn't good enough. We can make a harder one. And they added a medal above platinum called diamond. And you might ask, well, how hard is diamond to get? Diamond is so ridiculously hard that for me as a seasoned player, a veteran of this game franchise, I was trying to look up a cheesy way to do it. There's no reason that this should be an achievement. I don't understand it. That said, there are some strategies to do this, but if you don't look them up and you don't pay attention to some of these slightly easier ways to do this, you aren't gonna get this. You're not gonna get this. Trust me, you're not gonna do it. Diamond is often so hard that only the top maybe 500 or fewer players could even have it. Like, trust me when I tell you that this, in some cases, is blisteringly crazy hard. I don't know why it's like that. It's approaching like a perfected run, almost something you would need tasks to do. I don't know why they did this. There were tracks that the diamond medal is unbelievably ridiculous to do. This is not a casual player thing. Like, this has the potential that if you were just trying to do it on any random track, this would be worse than the ninja achievement. Like, this is, again, 500 fewer on some of these tracks, probably less than 200 or 100 players even have a diamond medal. It's truly insane how hard it can be to do it. I believe the main trick to get these is to refocus it onto the skill games. This one on the base game specifically had like I forgot the name of it. It was a skill game where you would hit gas and you would have a little rocket come out of the back of the bike. And because it's a skill game, it eventually will end. If you're actually able to get to the very end of the skill game, it's considered a diamond medal by default. And that one was by far much easier to do that to than something like Hill Climb. The same thing would work in Hill Climb if you're that guy. But I think you trust me when I say that don't attempt this on a regular racing track. If you're just that cracked, then you didn't need my advice anyway, did you? Like, you already knew. You were here, you were ready for this, you knew I was gonna say this, and you could just put on your little crown and enjoy it, because I'm not doing this. This is way too tough. Even doing the skill game version of the diamond medal, it can be quite difficult. And to add on to this for one last one, both DLC require you to get a diamond medal within the DLC's tracks. So overall, you have to get 3. That's actually screwed up, That's kind of screwed up. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't get it. That shouldn't have done that. And both DLC also have a cheese. So you're not without hope. One of them is another skill game. I think the robotic machine one, where it's like the Trials Wars, I think it's called, like Robot Wars. It just has machines that do little things and you have to go through as many as possible. And as long as you do what is nearly a perfect run at it, it will get a diamond. It's, I think, probably your only hope, unless you just really want to put some work in. But even then, that one made me try it more than once, like a lot of times. And I am good at this game, so fair warning, like it won't be the easiest thing you've ever done. One of them though, don't remember which one it is, I assume it's Crash and Sunburn, has a diamond that's relatively easy to do. If it works for both of them, if you can get it for the Crash and Sunburn track and you can get it for the base game, then you don't need to do that last one I mentioned about a weird rocket skill game. You can just go to the Crash and Sunburn one and get 2 for 1 on it. And it was one of the stadium tracks that was surprisingly easy to get a diamond on for some reason. I think it intended you to go much slower than you actually had to go on the track, or somebody messed up and just let that score through. Because you can, in what would basically be a platinum run for that is a diamond run in this case. So I don't know what they did that for. And if it counts for the base game, by all means, just do this, take your easy win, because if you're doing it anywhere else, best of luck, buddy, good luck. It's not gonna be easy for you to do. But yes, the game basically makes you do three platinums, which in my opinion is a little bit cooked. That's nuts. And those are all the achievements that I actually have on my list of things to talk about. It is not a 20-hour game. It looks like a 20-hour game, but the only way that this is like a 20 to 30-hour achievement game is that you know very well how to play this. You're using a guide to find these squirrels, right? So grain of salt, anyone that tells you this can be done quickly, because it can be, but only for people very good at it. Yeah, so even my Steam profile, if you noticed how much time it said I played this, I've done this twice. I played this on PS4. This is the second time I played this game, and it's still 35 hours for me. So, be warned. I saw guys getting mad on Steam because of how hard these were to do, and I'm like, hey, where have you been? Where have you been? Have you forgot what game this is? Yeah. So, outro. I don't really have anything that I'm working on right now. I did get Tony Hawk 3 and 4, but kind of stalled out because it's just another grind similar to the first game, and it's kind of boring me to death, and I could do it, or I could play Fortnite. I may have 1 or 2 other videos I can do. I just need to get into, the mindset of wanting to do these videos again. I haven't been playing a lot of games that need achievements. I've been playing a lot of, demos or Fortnite, or I was playing Battlefield 6, the beta. That was fun. I might get that. That might have achievements later. Maybe we got something. I don't know. I don't think EA does achievements, but we can get back in the swing of it maybe. I think I might have 1 or 2 indie games I could talk about. I was playing a playtest for a game called Demon Bluff, if you've seen stuff online from maybe Aliens Rock or Alexa, maybe. I don't know who does those. Demon Bluff's very cool, fun little play test that pretty much I think let anybody do it right now, and it's a social deduction game. I think you should try it. If you want a recommendation, give it a shot. When that game comes out, hopefully they have some achievements that are doable, and I can come back and talk about it, because I had a lot of fun playing just a play test. As far as this video, I think that's about as long-winded as I can be about this. We'll see how much shorter I can get this when I condense all of my yapping and cut out some spots, and cut all the dead air out. And then I need to get a song. I need to get some backing track. We'll get there. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video. I am gonna get out of here. So if you have a game you want me to try, recommendation, you just want to be nice, leave a comment. I read them. It's not like I have 100,000 million subscribers that I can't read comments on, Give it a try, You got something, let me know. Leave a comment, thumbs up, likes up, subscribe, pretty please. Yeah, is that all the stuff? That's all the stuff. I'm gonna get out of here. You have some fun. See ya.